Pete Weber, he's the voice of the Nashville Predators. He's been doing that since 1998. Pete, kind enough to join us after, I'm sure, a nice long night there. Pete, thanks for joining us. How's morale in Nashville?
You know, it's so down, I don't know what we're going to do to get people happy again. This is going to be a real challenge, Dan, but by God, I'm glad to have that challenge right now.
If I told you 2 months ago this was going to happen, you would have said what?
Can I have your car keys?
Yeah.
I mean, this has just been a miraculous role that the team has gotten on, and I guess it's a good idea to have a coach in charge who now has taken 3 different teams to the Stanley Cup final.
How would you summarize what has taken place here in the last month or so?
Well, a lot of it now is next man up because of the injuries the team had. Losing Ryan Johansson, losing the captain Mike Fisher, and earlier in the playoffs, losing a young kid who's not exactly a household name, Kevin Fiala, but was thoroughly in process of becoming one, and then getting guys to step in. Colton Sissons with a hat trick last night. Austin Watson, a first-round draft pick from a number of years ago, who has a re-engineered role with the team now, adding physicality, blocking shots, etc. So this has been a team that is simply, okay, what's our next task? We'll take care of it, and let's think of nothing else other than that task that's right in front.
What I love is how Nashville has embraced the Predators. And granted, they've been there for 2 decades, but did they just become an overnight sensation, or how would you describe the city's affection for this team?
You know, I think it happened when the founding owner, Craig Leopold, put the club up for sale around Memorial Day, just about this time, 2007. And it looked like it was going to be moved to Hamilton, Ontario, there for shortly for a little bit. And then all of us are getting our homes ready for sale, preparing for a move perhaps. And then a local group of owners got together, bought the team, saved it for Nashville, this after a very dramatic Save Our Team rally at the arena in July of that year. And since that point in time, well, let's go forward to that following April. The club was stripped down for sale. So outstanding players, Paul Correa, they didn't have the money to offer him another contract, so he left. Then they traded Thomas Vokoun, who was the strong goaltender from the start of the franchise, to Florida. Kimmo Timonen, Scott Hartnell to Philadelphia. And then there was an intermission, a TV timeout in early '08 in April. And the Predators had to have that win to make the playoffs. The club did not ask for this. The fans just stood as one with a standing ovation to urge the team on. The Predators responded to it, made the playoffs that year, and the fans have been the driving influence ever since that time. So it's not really one of those overnight success stories, but it's one that was rather quiet around the country until now.
You got a lot of celebrities that show up, you know, the whole atmosphere. What was the meaning of the catfish on the ice last night?
Okay, that's the answer. The big rivalry in the early years was Detroit. There were so many Michigan people here for the Nissan and Saturn plants that they were telling us, you know, how great Detroit was all the time, and the octopus tradition that went back to the 50s in Detroit, first at the Olympia, then at the now departed Joe Louis Arena, throwing an octopus on the ice because at that point in time it took 8 wins to win the Stanley Cup. Well, the Predators fans wanted to have their own answer to that, and they couldn't think of any, shall we say, version of something from the sea, something from the river, something from a pond, something from a stream that resembled that, and that would be indigenous to Tennessee, other than the catfish. And that's how it happened. Now, some of these, Dan, look like they've been treated radioactively. They're darn big.
Well, that one last night was pretty big. We're talking to Pete Weber. He's the voice of the Nashville Predators. It feels like America, no matter which team you're facing, Ottawa or Pittsburgh, is going to embrace Nashville. It's a 8th seed, worst record of all the playoff teams going in. The atmosphere there, celebrities on the ice. Nashville's a great town. So, do you get that feeling that this is not America's team? We've used that before with other sports, but this is a team that if you're a curiosity seeker, you might be tuning in to watch Nashville.
Yeah, I think so. And by the way, might I extend an invitation for you to come here and do your show again, and I promise you we'll have a much better studio here than the last time you did one.
Where are we going to eat, though, Pete?
There's hardly any place. There's hardly any place, Dad. But you know something? I bet we can find something.
What would be the place I would have? Because I can't travel by myself to have to bring the Danettes with me.
Right, that's not a problem.
Okay.
So we won't go to any chains. Obviously, we'll have to sample some barbecue.
Okay.
You and the Danettes might well like some of the hot chicken that is a big part of the Tennessee culture here right now. And afterwards, well, moonshine.
You're getting a round of applause on the other side of the glass from the Danettes with the moonshine there. Yeah, might have to take you up on that, Pete. Hey, congrats.
Please do.
Yeah, it's been a great run. It's a lot of fun to watch. Great atmosphere there, and the ride continues. Thanks for joining us, Pete.
Thank you for having me on, Dan. I appreciate it.
That's Pete Weber.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.